So we're just gonna start off real nice and easy.
Cool.
Can you say your name?
Jerome Miller.
All right. So Jerome, if you don't mind me calling you that, how many years in the local have you been with IBW?
I've been in IBW now 23 years.
Okay, and how many were you with out in the field and with your tools?
Out in my field with my tools, so I'm going to say 23. I've only been in his office for 4 years. 4 years. So out of the 23 years, 17 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so, what are you most proud of during your 4 years of achieving as a financial secretary?
Man, that's a tough question, but it's a good question, man. The trust of the membership. Trust of the membership, man. I just think as a financial secretary, um, more important than anything, man, you gotta be able to relate to the membership, and to relate to the membership, you gotta have a trusted relationship. I'm trusted with the funds of the entire local. I can lose all the money. Local 24 is no longer. But also our retired members, man, and those members rely on me to make sure that the money that they quoted, they're gonna get for the rest of their lives. So the trust and membership is the one.
Is there any special training or classes that the financial secretary is required to take before taking the position?
So no, short no. To elaborate, for any office here in Local 24, you got to meet the minimal requirements of being more than an apprentice, and a member in good standing, and put your name in the election and win that election. There is other attributes that makes a good officer, and I'm speaking on financial secretary. One, communication skills. I guess your finances has to be in order, because the member's going to trust you with their finances. And if your finances not in order, you may be, feel some type of way to help yourself out in a way. But local always give you training. There's always training that you can go to. But I guess one thing that you got to come in here with is knowing that you be part of this as well. So your funds is my funds. So everything I rely on everything that I do heavily too, because I'm not promised to be here. So.
If you don't mind me asking, like you mentioned, there were some classes or courses, I guess, trainings to help once you became. What was some of those things that kind of helped you along the way?
So you could take there's like financial classes, like trying to be like computer literate is super important. Learn about audits and things like that. Bookkeeping. So one of the most important things that the financial secretary does is I'm record keeping. I am in charge of making sure that I keep track of every member that ever stepped foot in Local 24 as well. You have to be detail oriented. So they got classes where you can sit down and learn different tax codes, how to use different programs to kind of help out with tracking funds and things like that. And you can also hire professionals as well to help you along the way as well.
Thank you. What is the most challenging thing you had to deal with in your position?
I got two answers to that.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
One thing is one of the most challenging thing is you gotta work. Work with other people. So the financial secretary job is kind of special in the sense where it's the only person working in his office who don't work with the business manager. And you find yourself, you just want to work for the members, but you also find yourself that at some point you are part of the business manager staff, because some of your jobs intertwine with each other. And one of the hardest things to do is to kind of separate those things and not want to step over your line and help other people. For me, I want to help everybody, and I just find it hard to just be the financial secretary in this building. I kind of want to help out and be everything else. And sometimes I got to tell myself, Jerome, you got one job. So that's kind of hard for me. The second part about opportunity is, man, it's hard to kind of like show the membership what you do because I feel like I'm only the financial secretary to people. You know, so I feel like the title minimizes what I do for the local. And there's no other way to show it, you know. So like when people think of the HAR, I'm part of the HAR, and I don't get to be Jerome, the financial secretary, in some senses like that.
Is there any truth to the notion that traditionally the financial secretary is a stepping stone to becoming a business manager?
That's a good question too, man. Golly, man, you guys got a good question. You sent it to me early. I'm just playing. So it's a good question simply because if you asked me maybe 6 years ago, I would say no. 6 years ago, I would say no because as far as I can remember, no financial secretary has ever went up to be the business manager. The first time it happened was with Pete when he went from financial secretary to business manager, and that case was kind of different because I think Gary left to go to international. Yeah. And then Pete wasn't here long, and then Mike came in. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but so Mike was the second one. Yeah. So for all I know, it only happened 2 times, and it happened in a short amount of time.
You're right. That happened in my time, obviously. Yeah.
Do you have any further thoughts or comments that you want to expound upon to the members, to us?
Tune, I just think, man, to be an officer in this local, man, is one of the utmost gratifying thing to do, you know, especially coming up, man. All I wanted to be was a journeyman electrician once I started this thing, man. So I feel like everything else was extra. I never thought I was going to be here. I didn't ask to be here, but I tell you one thing. Being here, man, I would not let anyone down, ever. I know that this office is bigger than me, and I don't do anything but work every day for the job. And if I'm not here, I'm still going to work for the local as if I was never here, man. So, nah, man, it's a great job. Any other job that you get outside of being a journeyman, an electrician, and local 24 should be a great job.
I have one last question. What do you hope to, I guess, achieve if reelected? I know it's kind of
Good question. Good question. That's a good question. So one, I just want to keep building what I've been doing. But two, in my realm, just being a financial secretary, I hope to one day get the funds to a point where, hey, we pay 4% working dues, man. You know, so I will hope in the next 3 years, and obviously it's not just my thing anyway, but some way I can help the funds grow so that obviously the staff of Local 24 can make a decision that it's time to at least give a percentage of that money back to the members.
Sounds good. And last thing, because someone else had mentioned this, what's the difference between financial secretary and treasurer, and why do we have 2 different roles for that position?
So another good question. Different locals work differently. As the treasurer, because our local, the way the local runs, there's only 2 offices that you run for that get a full-time position, which is the business manager and financial secretary. So just because you're a treasurer, it doesn't mean that you have a job in the office. That job is still important, but what happens is the financial secretary is just responsible for money coming in. So I'm responsible for all the money that come in. I need to receipt it and keep note of it and things of that nature. The treasurer is responsible for that money going out. The treasurer, in real life, the treasurer was here. The treasurer will be the one to take that money to the bank, make sure that it's in a respected account. And because the treasurer does not work in here, and it wasn't always that way. The last treasurer did work in here. The treasurer now, he doesn't work in here. And so I take on that thing. I take it to the bank and I just give him all the receipts and he can double check everything that happens. So basically, financial secretary is the one who's responsible for the money coming in. Treasurer is responsible for the money going out. Treasurer actually won't sign checks. I don't sign checks. So people think I sign checks. People come to me and say, Jerome, can we do this? Can we do that? Now, I do it with a smile. If I can do it, yes, but ultimately I don't sign checks. I'm not a check signer. Mr. President and the treasurer, they sign every check that go out of here. All I do is I look at them, make sure that they are good to be signed, meaning that every dollar that leave his office is either approved through membership in such a way, or is approved through a standing bill, which is still approved through membership, but a membership approved standing bills can go out without being approved every month. I just check to make sure that any check that go out is good to go, but I don't sign any checks.
Any further questions? Thank you for your time.
All right, man.
I appreciate you, man. Jerome, Financial Secretary.